Tonight on Joy News Prime, same scripts, different dates. Parts of Accra floods again, but this time it triggers a rock slide. We'll also show you what happened at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle in parts of Ashaiman.
It's a hard year. It's sorry there.
Meanwhile, displaced flood victims in the Upper East region say though government officials as well as Red Cross and NADMO have been touring parts of the areas affected, they are yet to receive aid.
Suffering here, the rain has come to spoil our buildings. So we'll be on our knees to beg you if you will help us to rebuild our houses. All our foodstuffs are spoiled. We don't even know what to eat.
Also, Ashaiman spare parts dealers lament over recent closure of the Nigerian-Benin border, describing it as unfair treatment.
I went to buy some goods from Lagos. Even the fans I used were borrowed.
And in business,
Ghana drops 6 places to place 13th in latest ABSA Africa Financial Markets Index.
There is a problem. I think what we need to look at is really the steps that.
My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Joy News Prime comes to you live from the studios at Kokomlemle here in Accra with digital address GA0992539 on GoTV channel 144 and DSTV channel 421. Please stay with us. Many thanks for choosing us. Let's begin the bulletin from the mountains where motorists using the southbound lane of the Bri to Accra Road were left stranded Friday afternoon after a heavy downpour caused a rock slide. Videos circulating on social media show motorists struggling to navigate the road that connects the eastern region to Accra. The road is home to the Bri Mountain, which is one of Ghana's highest topographies and a major tourist destination. Eyewitnesses say police and officials of the National Disaster Management Organization had to create a diversion for traffic to flow smoothly. The lane was closed for more than a year for repair works after falling rocks left it unmotorable. We'll take you to the scene of the incident shortly, but first let's take you to Asylum Down and the Kwame Nkrumah Circle.
Behind me, you can see that vehicles are struggling to make their way through because this section of the road is completely submerged in the rains.
Accra circle ya bre serious. If the way is so to itimi yiri fa manfo dem no niam na de ya bre yenti yesra ban say on pa na ni mehwe na omomeye circle ye se na be agates ne be ye mo so to a e betimi afam no se na be ya ensa ya manfo niam man na se sa kanka school fo no kra potitiru kra utira ya na itimi ama akola bi so kra na de ne ko nti yesra ban say on de on pa na ni mehwe circle kakra man.
So he's appealing to government to come to his aid and ensure that the flooding situation in Circle ends permanently. He says each time there's a heavy downpour, some of the school children end up being victims as they are washed away by the heavy downpours. Now, if you can see behind me, the gutter is almost full and we're hoping that the rain stops because at this rate, it means that the water would come and rise to the level where this area will become flooded.
Because of the boiler, they put it inside the gutter inside. That's why it chokes. That's why when rain falls, the water doesn't go. So we, the citizens in Ghana, here, we should stop putting the rubbish inside the gutter inside, so that the gutter will also flow.
So the you are having a trache. So anytime you have a baby, a titty, a pa, my voice in yet young fanchame. I'm saying about a bridge. The only one is a bridge, you know. It's on a free surabano, and yet and cransu a tono, and a yiriwa. So no, I'm saying free or sonomo, and a batia bada boaboanoa. Na asana ba ntako odono no. Na boabo na yekese na aba ba hiti. Ba me hwe kwan we a, am say the me hu ne say minim die but am say be pem wo no. Sakaya de anko mu ja kwan atu mu a ke wo the main gata kese bi wo a e betimi afa akon fine. Ye wo ha ye kwan ye hu say omo de covert asha form e de amana say ya nso de benya kwan akon. Ba kwan ya mu jija ma no eso a. Se ya ejina ba ko da o. Eye 3 ana wo ahanum kakra ya nsuo kese no e ba e be pem wo no. Se e beduru ana na tiese ano. We dey atia no ntia ma bibi anya dai ensia no tiane tambia ya ha no hwe se nso no yira ne ya be yi wura kakra na sabe abesi ano no na nso na nya kwan dai akọ iti ha de nso no de ya ko wa ha pa iti esramo a aban amra no hwe amra na tokro na nso fa mu ko no ne amwa ne yi bi nka ho yi bi ka ho a eba ya den de eba ano ba ju kakra. It is saying, we can't have you will be a hormone. I'll call who say, and shut us, Papa, until a ma, I don't know,
At a salam down here, the situation is no different. Now, if you can see around me, we already have residents scooping out water from their homes after just close to an hour of heavy downpour.
And in the Upper East region, at least 100 displaced flood victims have taken shelter at an area council building at Manyoro in the Katsina-Nankana West District of the Upper East region. 28 people have now been declared dead, 19 injured, and thousands of people left homeless after their houses collapsed following torrential rains. Though government officials, as well as Red Cross and NADMO officials, have been touring parts of the areas affected, aid is yet to arrive for victims. Here's a report by Upper East Regional correspondent Albert Sorry, read to you.
There is an area council block here at Manyoro in the Katsina-Nankana West District. It was not used, and so it has now become a temporary home for about 20 families displaced by the recent floods. Women and their children sit here wearing gloomy faces. They have been perching here for 4 days now, but aid is yet to arrive. Helen Panlugu is one of the women currently taking shelter here.
We are suffering here. The rain has come to spoil our buildings. So we'll be on our knees to beg you if you help us to rebuild our houses. All our foodstuffs are spoiled. We don't even know what to eat as at now. So we'll be happy if you can help us with those things.
Bavama Kampali is also staying here with a daughter and granddaughter.
Sala enko sat ma loro zon te kata sonenga katara boran sunya katara zozo kora te sohrela te mabise abande fefela po eta deta.
We have been here since Sunday. Our homes were destroyed in the floods. Our crops are currently covered in the flood waters.
Te kata se et mami yetini. Te sat ma loro pa sanson son ko ngara.
Staying here is okay for now, but we need more mats, blankets, and mosquito nets, especially for the kids. We need food too, because we are practically begging the people who live around here for food to eat.
Officials of the Red Cross have promised to mobilize relief items for the flood victims as soon as possible. Here is Upper East Regional Director of Red Cross, Paul Woma, speaking after visiting the flood victims on Thursday.
And so the situation at hand is so dire and pathetic. 133 people are living in this area council, and we can only empathize with them for now and send reports to the national office for any support that may come. We have come here today to give psychosocial support to the survivors.
Help is also yet to arrive from government. Northern Regional Minister Salif Said is acting as Upper East Regional Minister because the substantive Regional Minister is currently on leave.
Breaking it from assembly to assembly, that is from municipality, from district to district. The number of districts that we have visited, we've been to the Kassina Nankane municipal, and they have actual deaths of 4 people. Okay, you get it. And then we are in the Kassina Nankane West, which we have 2 actual deaths. But if you look at the Kassina Nankane West, they were having the highest 11 deaths as at yesterday, even scaling to this morning until we got to the ground. So we want to talk with certainty. We don't want to conjecture or speculate or fabricate.
He has also disputed NADMO's death toll.
Already, if you look at it, then the 20-something they talked about, it was Kassina Nankane West included. And now already out of the 11, you can see that 9 has been taken off. 9 is gone. So already it's even below 20 now. So in the same vein, I believe strongly that by the time we will conclude this assessment, the figure will not be that much.
For now, these women and their children hang on in their temporary abode with no aid in sight just yet. Albert Sorry's report for Joy News.
And in Accra and in the studios, my name is Aisha Ibrahim. Now, markets should be the cleanest places for the simple fact that foodstuffs are sold there for human consumption. For traders at the Bri market in the northern region, they sell in filth, especially when it rains. The market doesn't have a proper drainage system and there are no containers at the refuse dump. Joy News' Anna Sabit visited the market and sent in this report.
Traders at the Bri market in the northern region are worried with the sanitation condition of the market. The market has no proper drainage system, and so anytime it rains, rainwater gets stuck into the market, causing discomfort to traders and motorists. Some of the traders disclosed to Joy News how the situation is affecting their businesses. You saw how bad the place looks when you arrived here. It disturbs us a lot. We are not supposed to be selling food in such a filthy environment, but what can we do? We have no choice. So please come and assist us. This place smells a lot because of the stagnant rainy water, and as a result, traders don't even come around to buy our goods. For Nuapo Frederick, who has been a mobile money vendor for the past 4 years, the situation is heavily affecting trade and could lead to the outbreak of cholera if not checked.
For sure, it's affecting trading because you can imagine how the place is like muddy. People try to balance themselves, the muddy, they try to balance, and then some of the reckless drivers and what have you, they come around trying to prove that no, they are supposed to move themselves out of where they are passing. They are also trying to, if you can see a car moving, instead of him taking this way, because of the water, you want to, washing and what have you, they take it to be like they want to maneuver themselves out of. You see, so that way, it's been a challenge. Yeah, it's possible because cholera comes by these flies and what have you. So you see, when it happens this way, looking at something like this, flies, ghosts, takes anything that you don't know, then when you buy food and you don't cover it well, at the end of the day, disease from any angles can come over. Cholera, to be precise. It's possible you will get that.
Asked if authorities have not been responding to the situation because the traders do not pay their tolls, Frederick indicated that market authorities do come for tolls every market day.
We are paying tickets. Even me, mobile money, credit transfer and whatever, I pay tickets. So it is just that we are always pleading on the management to try and make sure they do what they are supposed to do so that all these kind of horrendous diseases will not come around. But we don't know how much they are sending it forward.
They've been paying market tolls. They don't even sweep the market. We do it ourselves. To the drivers who visit the markets, the situation is affecting their businesses in diverse ways. From the roadside to this end, the route is damaged. Sometimes passengers get knocked down by vehicles, and the situation is affecting our cars. And we are not able to send goods inside the market, so we call for help. The market needs to be worked on. Even where to park our cars is a problem. So we call on them to do something about it. To these traders who spoke to Joy News, they want authorities to check the situation as well as provide containers where they can dump their wastes. We have no containers, so when we sweep around, we dump the refuse in the bush. So we need containers. From Bupe in the northern region, I am Anas Sabit for Joy News.
The Attorney General's office has dropped charges against 4 persons accused of kidnapping 2 Canadian girls. The 4 includes Saidu Abubakar, also known as Simba, whom the opposition NDC had alleged was a member of the governing NPP, and 3 others. 4 others, however, remain before the court on charges including kidnapping. Joy News' Joseph Akable was in court and has filed this report.
8 persons were arrested in June and charged with kidnapping, as state prosecutors said investigations were ongoing. Senior State Attorney Hilda Craig on Friday told an Accra High Court that the state now wants to drop the case against 4 of them. They are Saidu Abubakar alias Imba, Abdul Nasser, Safiano Abubakar, and Abdurrahman Suleiman. She said the state arrived at this decision following a review of the docket prepared by investigators. Trial Judge Justice George Budi discharged the 4 persons. Mrs. Craig, however, informed the court the state is proceeding with the case against 4 others. They are Samson Agalo, Elvis Ejijori, Yusuf Yakubu, and Jeff Omasa. They have been charged with conspiracy to commit crime, namely kidnapping and kidnapping. They pleaded not guilty to the charges. The state prosecutors informed the court that the 4 earlier this year decided to be engaging in kidnapping of white people to demand money. She said on June 4 they kidnapped the 2 Canadian girls who were returning from a restaurant to their place of abode. She further told the court that they touched the girls inappropriately and smeared their bodies with the blood of a fowl and forwarded pictures of them to their families as they demanded money. She wrapped up the facts of the case by telling the court that the girls were rescued by a joint police and national security team during a shootout. The case has been adjourned to October 31.
Let's get back to floods and take you to the Bri Mountains, where motorists using the southbound lane of the Bri to Accra Road were left stranded Friday afternoon after a heavy downpour caused a rock slide. We'll get back to Bri and speak with my colleague Parker Wilson, who is standing by when the feed comes back. Now, importers and traders in Ghana are lamenting over the recent closure of the Nigerian-Benin border in what they describe as unfair treatment, which is taking a toll on their businesses. Nigeria's land border with neighboring Benin was last month closed, and according to that country's Foreign Affairs Minister, the move is to check criminal activities. Henry Kwesi Bedu has been engaging spare parts dealers at Ashaman. We'll bring you his report shortly, but let's go back to Bri, where Parker Wilson is standing by. Good evening, Parker. What more can you...
It is from the Bri to the Accra stretch, and so now it's just one-way stretch where those coming from Accra and of course also those coming from Bri are using the same road. Now, just behind me are officials of the Ghana Fire Service who have come down to quickly work on the situation. In fact, they are trying to put the mud together and wash it. On my right, you see the fire tender. The fire tender is getting ready to sweep the mud off the road so that by tomorrow morning, the drivers and of course those who have been using this road will be able to apply the road. Now, I have with me the Equiapim South NADMO director, Mr. Bachman, who has joined me.
We'll get back to Bri and listen to Parker Wilson on that report. But let's hear Henry Kwesi Bedu, who's been speaking to traders at Ashaman.
I will call. Do Ghanaian shop. Take the phone. Call. Where I buy my shoes. We lie. What? You said to me I lie. Which city? I'm telling lie. So I'm lying.
Traders at the Ashaman spare parts market in a heated argument over why the main Nigeria-Benin border has been closed. The border has been closed since last month to reduce smuggling of goods, according to officials in Nigeria. Back here in Ghana, traders are feeling the pinch. Simon Asine is a spare parts importer. He imports most of his goods from Nigeria and was last month left stranded at the border.
I went to buy some goods from Lagos. Even the fans I used were borrowed. However, I was disallowed to enter from the semi-border. I pleaded as much as I could. It wasn't successful. I returned the goods to the shop where I bought them. I wanted a refund. It was not possible. So I left the things there. I'm in Ghana now. The 25,000 to 30,000 CD loan has been wasted.
25,000 to 30,000. With interest for Ghana.
Samuel Tetelate has been importing spare parts for the past 20 years and says his business will collapse if the border is not opened immediately.
If you don't get the goods to sell, what do? Now you pay tax, you pay this, you pay this, you pay this. And then if you don't have the money, it means you are going to be out of business. We pay for rent, we pay for other utilities. And so we are begging the government to talk to the Nigerian government or whatever, or if it is West Africa, as they are saying, then the treaty should work. The ECOWAS treaty should work so that we will be free. Now, as we are doing business, when you want to go to China, or unless you get big money, we don't have money to. The small loans you have been taking to now, the place too is choked. You can't go for the small loans again. And so then we have to look for big money. Now when you go bank looking for big money without collateral, you will not be given. So our fate, we don't know where our fate is.
Some Nigerians are equally affected. Chief Boniface Nidowu is head of Nigerian traders at Ashaman. He is worried about recent developments.
We wanted to open the border because we have goods on the road. Our goods are on the road. As the goods are there, and this is rainy season, it's spoiling. The goods are damaging. If we heard that even thieves are stealing them. So it's a problem. We wanted to open the border. Whichever problem, they should handle it amicably.
Ghana's Trade and Foreign Affairs Ministries have been engaging their Nigerian counterparts to solve the problem. Henry Kwesi Bedu's report for Joy News.
Let's go back to the report on the Bri Road landslide, and Parkway C. Parker Wilson is standing by.
Let's do that thing over again for here. So that give us a better description of what happened. Okay. Right. So currently I am in fact in between Ayimensa and Pediatric Lodge, and from where I stand it's quite muddy. On my right is the officials from the Ghana National Fire Service making an effort to scrap off the mud off the road. Now, this afternoon we got the information that there has been a landslide on this particular stretch, causing a huge traffic. If I were told that it was a bumper-to-bumper traffic, and with the timely intervention of the Ghana Highways Authority, the Ghana Police Service, and the Fire Service, they were able to minimize the impact. Now, there has been a road diversion. So, on the other side of the road, where naturally it used to be the stretch from Accra to Ebri, is now a dual carriage road where those coming from Ebri are also using the same stretch to Accra. So this particular route is no more accessible, and the Ghana National Fire Service, what they are doing this evening is to make sure that by tomorrow morning this road will be accessible. Now, I have with me the NADMO director for the Equiapim South. He has been witnessing and of course has a first-hand information of what happened this very afternoon, and he's going to tell us exactly what happened. Sir, thank you very much for your time this evening. So you have been on the ground. What have you been able to gather so far, as in what happened this afternoon, sir?
Okay, around 1:32 thereabout. Right. Yeah, we experienced a very heavy downpour, and this stretch, this place is actually called Ma 19.
Ma 19.
Ma 19. Okay. Yes. So we had frantic calls. I mean, from pedestrians and road users that we've had some, disaster, of which we rushed in. We came, we saw that there's been a slide onto the road. And
so if you say slide, what exactly does it mean?
Like a landslide, I will call it.
So meaning that the topsoil washed onto the road.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Okay. So it washed onto the road. But what we experienced after our assessment is like a settlement up there have, what do you call a wall, right? Yes, and it's like its retention was not all that strong, so it couldn't hold the water, the rains that poured today. So it actually caved down onto the road. That also caused a whole lot of mud and rocks onto the road.
Nice. So there's quite some debris on the road.
Yes, but then with the timely intervention of the assembly, they were able to release their heavy equipment, talk of the payloader and the truck, to help us take the debris off the road so that it can be accessible. Yes, they came and they executed that, but now we have excess mud on the road. If we are saying that we live in it, I'm afraid that we might record another disaster or accident. So the fire service also, we organize, and they are in with their tender to help us wash the surface of the road so that by 30 an hour time, road users can use the roads. Yes, so that's it.
Okay, so you say that there is a structure up there, and I see some structures though. I see some structures up there anyway. And have you been able to speak to those living there, and what have they been saying?
Yes, with the one that had his wall, broken.
As a result
of the rains, okay. We went over, but he's not around. Okay. But then we're making efforts to reach him so that we can, have, a talk with him. Yes, as to how to, put this whole mess under arrest.
I see, but I have made some little observation, and if my little observation is that when I was coming from the other stretch, I realized that there has been a mesh, and for our viewers who do have a better appreciation of the Bri Road, anytime you visit the area, you realize that there is this mesh there, and for some years gone by, there used to be incidents of falling rocks, and that was why they put the mesh there. But with my little observation this evening, I observed that there is no mesh here, and probably, I don't know if that was the reason why the topsoil washed down onto the road. And Mr. Bachman, I don't know if you can get an answer to this for me. Why don't you have a mesh, I mean the metal mesh or the wiring here?
Oh, now for quite some time now, when I pass, I do see that there's mesh.
Okay.
But then, I mean, it's like how the thing, I mean, happened. The debris would have buried the mesh, I believe so, because the whole place was covered with the mesh. But looking at the intensity and the weight, I mean, the pressure that was coming up from the top, I mean, the mesh couldn't hold it. That was why we have this mess on the road.
Okay, and there hasn't been any casualties so far?
No, we haven't recorded any, thank God.
So I think going forward, what is the NADMO going to do to ensure that probably if it rains tonight or tomorrow, what do we experience this afternoon won't occur?
Okay, I mean this road, you know, is under the auspices of Ghana Highways Authority, so we've made frantic calls, I mean, to the district coordinating director, and the DC is aware, the MPs too. We've had calls with him, and I mean some personnel from the Ghana Highway Authority too were at the scene, I mean, with their men. So I believe that, I mean, probably tomorrow there'll be some cleanups and other measures to put in place to help curb the situation, if any of such happens in the future.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bachman. Mr. Bachman is the NADMO director for Akuapem South, and I can see that the fire service is struggling to clear off the mud, because the gutters, if you look behind me, the gutter is choked, and that they are struggling and finding it very difficult to push the mud into the gutter, and it's making their work quite Herculean. Let me just speak to one of them. Boss, good evening to you. I can see you are doing quite work in here. Please, essentially, what are you doing? Essentially, what are you trying to do with the shovel, sir? Yes. Okay. So he's directed me to speak to his boss, I see, who is not available at the moment. So this is the situation here at a Bri, in between Ayimensa and Pediase Lodge, where we do understand that there was a landslide, and of course, as you can see, the Ghana Police Service, the fire service.
That was Pakwesi Parker Wilson bringing you that report from Bri, where it's reported that there is a mudslide. And in the studio with me to continue the conversation on floods is the George Kwejo Eyisi, who is Director of Communications at NADMO. Good to see you.
Yeah.
So you warned us last week of more rains, and you also assured us that NADMO has what it takes to take care of the rains. But it does appear that is not the case. Today, for instance, a number of people will not have sound sleep, kind courtesy the rains today, and yet we've not seen NADMO anywhere.
I don't understand the question. What do you mean we've not seen NADMO anywhere?
Many of the people we spoke to say they're still waiting to see officials of NADMO to at least give them some relief, because many of the houses have been flooded and some people will not have anywhere to sleep in Accra. Yes.
Oh, okay. We're yet to get.
You've not told the place yet?
I mean, you know, some were deployed to this scene to attend to these issues.
That is Ebri, but in Accra.
In Accra, yeah, we yet I just spoke with them. We yet to have any distress calls from any particular place that they.
Do you usually wait for calls before you go out?
No, it helps us. We position our men strategically where we know some of these things happen, and so when there's any distress call, we direct them to the place. That's what we do.
So
and
so far, what has your inspection gathered?
Oh, so far now, for Accra generally, we know there's been flooding in some places, but it's not gotten to the point where people are in distress. We've not gotten any of such call.
You've not gotten such call, and your inspection has not given you...
No, not yet. Not yet, apart from the Bri situation.
In the eastern region, for instance, at least 100 people have been displaced, and we know of 19 injuries, and thousands of people left homeless. And even there, they are still waiting for aid from NATME.
Yeah, the regional director was here yesterday as well. You know, my Director General, the Honorable Eric Nanajiman Prempe, had a meeting with some regional directors who have problems. The Eastern region is packed, and then, of course, the Upper East Regional Director and then Upper West Regional Director, they were all here. They had meetings. Apparently, they have some challenges. That of the Upper East being the severe one, we've taken care of that, and they are making moves to get some relief items to them.
How soon will the relief items get to these people? Because this didn't happen today. It happened some days ago.
Yes, Aisha. It did happen some days ago, but they initially thought they could take care of it there. And they supplied the reliefs they had, but it wasn't enough. They were overwhelmed. So the regional director had to come down to Accra to get some additional stock to go and then support the people. And that has been, as we speak, they are loading about 3 cars of relief items to take off either tonight or early tomorrow morning to Upper East.
Those who feel that you're overwhelmed with the situation, are you overwhelmed?
No, not exactly. We are not. We are not. Because when they came...
For over 100 people to be displaced and taking days for NATME to get them relief?
Yeah, we have something we call prepositioning of our relief items. And so when we do prepositioning in the regions, and we have problems from time to time, and when it does happen, the regions take care of those ones. And so when there is a major incident and they fall on them and they cannot support, then they resort to the national headquarters for support. And so that's why I was saying that the regional director was there here himself yesterday. I know he's had the discussions with the director, and definitely he's going to go back with some relief items. But because we are all focusing on the major problem in Upper East, that is why it seems all of our focus and attention is on the Upper East situation.
I understand you can't be everywhere at the same time, but what does your monitoring mechanism tell you? Because I'm sure there are areas that you need to prioritize if they are vulnerable areas with this floods. What does your monitoring mechanism show you?
Oh no, when we have places like Circle, the Adabraka area, Pokwasi, Vivian Farms and other places, we always, when there's any heavy rain, we want to see whether there's any...
Do you have a monitoring mechanism?
Yeah, we do. We have men and we have cameras in certain strategic places that we can monitor from our emergency operations center at the headquarters. There are certain points that we can observe from that place. And so when we do observe and we see there are challenges, we deploy our men to go to those areas.
So you only monitor when there's rains or there's any natural disaster, but you don't actually plan towards that. For instance, you know that there are areas that are vulnerable, so in any event, that area should be prioritized. You don't do that.
Well, we do. We have, we have district directors, zonal officers across the nation. Every district.
I'm asking this because in a place like the Upper East region, if you have such monitoring teams, probably you could have put a lot in place before we get here.
Yeah, no, Aisha, the issue is, in fact, with the Upper East region situation, we had sent an advanced team there, but not towards that, but towards the possible opening of the Bagri Dam. You get it? And so our Deputy Director General, the Honorable Abu Ramadan, and a team had gone there in May, June. We had gotten excavators to scoop certain areas so that the water can flow and we wouldn't have problems. We had identified safe havens on higher grounds where farmers can keep their flock and other valuables, and they themselves can take up temporary shelter when the dam is spilled, okay? And so we had done all these things only to be, overwhelmed by these continuous rains for over 10 days continuous, which is led to this one.
So you didn't envisage this one?
To be honest with you, we didn't envision this one coming. We were actually preparing for the spillage in the back.
warned that more rains will come.
We are.
How
You
come
know,
you didn't
we had warned it was going to happen between July and September.
Okay,
You know,
but
GMET
just
had given us
just
that.
Last week you cautioned that there could be more rain.
Yes, that's after this one. GMET gave us another update. You know, we work in collaboration with the Ghana Meteorological Services. They are the experts in the area of weather predictions.
Okay.
And so they gave us the information and we had to relay it to the public.
So how long are we supposed to be enduring this?
Enduring?
I mean, with the rains, because this
No,
is
they are saying,
unusual
they are saying it's going to happen until the first week of November. That's the prediction they've given.
And how well is NADMO poised to deal with the situation?
Well, NADMO is on standby. NADMO is on standby everywhere. We've advised all our district directors to be in readiness, identify safe havens. I've been here, we've spoken about those things before. And then to help get people to safety when the thing is becoming dire. So that's the situation. NADMO is on standby. When we have victims who will need relief support and our stock is not enough, I've said it time without number, press the emergency button and then we'll get the support from Interior and Finance Ministry.
So for the people in the Upper East region, when exactly are they getting the reliefs?
As I speak with you, Aisha, they are loading at our warehouse. You get it. About 3 vehicles will be moving either tonight or early tomorrow morning.
The
to
people in
Upper East.
the Upper East should get reliefs from that.
Yes. Some are making the argument we should have used the helis to fly the things there. That's a good idea. We can easily relay with the Ghana Air Force to do that. But the regional director is saying that if you fly, you take helis. They don't have vehicles over there. And the disaster is affected the entire region. And so he needs the vehicles to get there. So those vehicles will be used to, distribute the items into all the districts within the region. And so it's going to serve a dual purpose if we use the vehicles to transport
in your offices at the Upper East region, you don't have vehicles there?
We don't have those cargo vehicles over there. They have pickups, but they're not in too good condition. As for the districts, they don't have vehicles.
So normally, what do you use in distributing aids if they don't have to come to Accra to get the relief items? What do they use to distribute?
Sometimes sometimes if they have to do it, we send vehicles from here to that place to support them.
From Accra?
Yeah, but sometimes if there's pressure on the ones here, we ask them to rent or hire cars to do that.
So why didn't you do that this time around?
No, they are now taking the thing.
Yes. Let the helicopters take the relief items.
That's a good thing.
Cars because the people really need them.
Not bad.
But you won't take.
No, but they have to get there and distribute. You see, if the people had been concentrated, the victims are concentrated at a particular place, and then you take the heli and straight move, that's a different. But they are scattered all over the region.
But
it's a good thing. It's a good alternative.
So we're supposed to be experiencing the rains till first week of November.
Yes, that's the
your advice to the public.
We ask everybody to be careful. The rains are with us, especially if you live in a flood-prone area. Be careful. Drivers. Last time we were here, and a road safety expert gave very fantastic advice. We are following on the heels of what happened today. Let's be careful when we are driving and it's rained. Let's make sure our headlines are good and then our wipers are functioning properly. Let's not be driving on top speed because when there's rain, water on the road, the force of friction is reduced. And then if you apply your brakes and where you intend to stop may not be the point and it may cause an accident. And then users of the roads to observe road safety signs when they are moving.
And which numbers should we call in case there's any distress?
We have our emergency lines 999 option 4, 999 option 4, or 0299 350 030, 0299 350 030. If you call these lines, our men will respond and then we'll dispatch our search and rescue team to your aid.
All right. George Kwejo AEC is Director of Communications at NADMO, and he's been enumerating what NADMO is doing to deal with the situation. At least we're going to be experiencing the rains till first week of November.
Yeah, as we speak, they've cleared the road and opened the road on the Bri Highway, so drivers and co are safe to use it.
Right, thank you very much. Now, complaints about bad roads have dominated discussions in the media, and on this week's edition of Editorial, we put the spotlight on Ghana's bad roads.
The discomfort of slumming and slumping into potholes is real. You feel it in your waist and bones. For pregnant women, that experience is worse than uncomfortable. It's indelible, especially when they lose their pregnancies as a result of bad roads. To understand what I'm saying, listen to this woman.
Because of this road, in fact, I've had 2 miscarriages because of the road. So this one, I had to stay in the hospital throughout till I gave birth. Because the way it bumps and everything, it wasn't good for me. So I had to stay in the hospital. Because it bumps, you'll be bumping all the way to the junction, you see. So it wasn't really good for someone like me.
Now, she's not alone. Many other women have similar experiences. In fact, many of the country's roads have turned into gullies and manholes. The bad road situation is so terrible in some communities that some youth now make money out of pulling people's vehicles stuck in potholes. In this extended rainy season, the situation has worsened. The 2019 budget talked about the construction of some roads, but not much has been seen yet. Our checks show that the Adenta Oyibi, not done. The Han Tumu roads in the Upper West region, not done. Asankrega to Sefirioso in the Western region, not done. Navrongo to Naga in the Upper East region, not done. The list is endless. Of course, we're not suggesting that everything listed in the budget should be implemented. We are simply saying Ghanaians are asking for their roads to be fixed. Government should fix roads they promise the people.
Fix the road. There's a direct route through Kokwe to Jaskan. And look at it, we have to do merry-go-round all the way through Have, Pando, and come this way. And even this road is not accessible to the west. We are citizens, we have rights. They should come and fix the road.
If ballot boxes can get to this place, then how come they can't construct road to where the ballot boxes are getting to?
We can predict that in 2020, the country will be inundated with sword-cutting ceremonies for many projects, especially roads. Many terrible roads that have not been given any attention will be fixed. The question is, why do our politicians wait until the last minute to implement projects that they themselves promised? Why?
And if you just joined us, you're still on Joy News Prime. There is more business after this break. That's how we wrap up the bulletin for tonight. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com for updates of the developing stories. Enjoy the rest of our programs.